All right, how will we know?
We're live now.
Is it just
What?
me?
I said we're live. I pressed the button.
Now, is everyone
Yeah.
appearing?
Yeah. We're here.
Is there a way to see it on the Great Sequoia Wilderness screen?
I thought we were all.
At what point did you give us like a 3, 2, 1, we're live?
I was like, hey, all right, let's go. You know?
Well, there's no one watching anyway, so it doesn't matter. The 13 we have
Should I
long
play the
ago
music?
abandoned us. No, don't play it.
It's playing.
Let's
too
just.
late.
Do you have a way of knowing if anyone is on here watching us? There is 11. Thank
There
you.
we go.
You patient, beloved 11 people. Thank you.
You are rich in mercy, abounding in love.
Yes.
And for that, we thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you for joining us for Q&A with Pastor Andy.
And we do have some questions.
We
We
do?
do.
We do.
In fact, have questions. The questions that trouble you late at night as you ponder while you wander.
Nah, I'm sleeping late at night.
No, not you, them.
Oh.
Them.
Okay. All right.
Those that are asking the questions.
All right.
Oh, there's actually up to 25 now. Look at this.
Woohoo!
They are great in mercy and grace.
And
The favor of the Lord
We-
shall
should I put-
be upon
should
them
I put it there?
for their
There-
great
there we
mercy
go.
and
there we
grace.
go. Oh, my numbers are weird now. That's all right. Thank you for joining us. We have a questiones. Okay,
Let it roll. Let it roll. We're late, man. We're 10 minutes behind.
10 minutes late. We got to keep rolling here because we got
I'm
construction
gonna
going
speak
on.
extra fast.
I know.
So just give me the
I
question.
have to say though, I'm distracted.
You're
We're
just-
not distracted. So Pastor Pete, there's one little gray hair of your beard that's curled up like this. It's just one little one, and every time I look over, I see a little curly Q
It
right
wasn't
there.
just that it was curled. It was the specific color that you
No,
referenced that
it
bothered
was the
me.
gray one.
Pastor Randy just cut it with
I
his
just cut
fake
it.
finger.
You did. You got it. You got it.
I'm
I'm
constantly
not distracted now.
Cutting, trimming,
Andrea Crum. Hello.
darkening.
Miss Barbara. Susan. I always want to say her name wrong. Can you pronounce that for me, Pastor Kim?
I always forget.
DeRoche?
DeRoche.
I think it's DeRoche.
DeRoche.
It's not DeRoches. That's not it.
No.
Des
Des-
Roches.
Come on, Frenchie.
Des Roches.
No.
That's the French. Oh, and then if it's Spanish pronunciation,
It's French, man.
Hola,
I think.
familia, which I think they have a Spanish service next weekend.
Friday,
Okay.
yeah.
Friday.
Next Friday.
Oh, did
Candace.
you tell that inquirer about that?
It's working.
Remember, I had you contact.
I just said in general, connect
Because
them.
My
And,
treat.
If
Yeah.
you noticed his
yes, I did. His, yeah, I noticed it. All right, y'all want a question?
What? No, what was
Yeah,
what-
man.
He noticed what?
oh no, someone inquired about FCF. They were moving into the area.
But they
and-
said possibly move into the area. I thought that was interesting.
Okay. So anyway, I let Kim respond to them.
Yeah.
But it appeared that they were involved in some kind of a Spanish
Yeah.
ministry. of sort.
yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, so nice.
All right. I got a question from Mr. Ross Gosnell.
Mm-hmm.
You would do something like that, Ross. Your
Nephew.
young nephiones. That's the Spanish pronunciation. Is booing you, and for that, I hurl things at him.
Yeah, they could have put my eye out.
I know. Okay, so their growth group had some conversation around this question. Can faith be quantifiable since even the smallest of faith, mustard seed, can do great things? Yet the disciples asked Jesus to increase their faith. Did they not have faith even as small as a mustard seed?
Faith definitely can grow, should grow. The more we trust God and His Word, the more we experience of obedience to God's Word, the greater our trust in God grows. And so throughout our Christian life, our faith in God, our trust in God grows as we experience His trustworthiness, His faithfulness. But our initial trust in Christ, the mustard seed, let's call it, it is sufficient to move mountains, to make absolute transformation in our life, transformation in the life of others. So it's not the strength of our faith, it's who our faith is in. But it definitely can grow experientially as we grow in experience with Christ.
Do you think, I'm just wondering if that's the actual question versus quantifiable. Is it asking something a little bit more like quantifiable meaning can you?
Well, isn't what I said that faith changes in its size, it grows?
But I get, is that all the more they mean, or are they asking? Ross, are you asking something more than that?
Okay.
I'm just
Yeah.
thinking. I know Ross would know. Of course, your faith can grow. So
Okay.
why is he putting this question? So it sounds
well,
like
he may
maybe
have been
they-
asking in behalf of someone in his group. Is what the way I took it. He
Maybe.
himself may know.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, if Ross is online, by all means, correct us.
Yeah.
He made it on the first video and the second video, but on the third launch, he said, "You know what?"
he gave up.
Enough is enough. I understand.
He
I
said,
do
"I
understand.
quit."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's limits to everybody's patience.
I know.
Absolutely.
I know. right.
Question.
It's Dayrosh.
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 Oh, there you go.
according to this.
Dayrosh. Okay.
So all of us were wrong, which I like that.
You like being wrong?
Yeah, we're all wrong together.
yeah.
I'm still thinking.
Together we stand, divided we fall.
But,
that could be a good
wrong.
song.
Hi, Miss Bonnie. Hi, Miss Mark. What's going on? Miss Mandy Lowe. Okay, let's
All right.
keep it rolling.
So this person has been studying the book. of-
I want to jump back. Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yes.
What's one of the greatest ways to build
To
your
expand.
faith?
Again, what I said, it's the more that we become obedient to the Word of God, we gain experience of that obedience, and that increases our trust in God.
Yeah.
So that would be the easiest way. Now, the disciples' response, you bring up something that is interesting, was misguided. They thought that Jesus could just infuse mystically faith in them, increase our faith, Lord. And the reality is no, it doesn't work that way. As they progressively, faithfully obeyed Christ, saw the results in themselves, their trust would grow. So it's kind of a process that can't be violated. God can't just infuse faith in us,
has to
trust
be
or trust in
developed.
us. Yeah,
What about the faith comes by hearing?
and hearing by the Word of God. Yeah, well,
Reading your Bible, is
Well,
that a good
again,
way to
as
build
we
faith?
read, well, there's a second step though that's critical. Just reading our Bibles and even understanding what it says won't necessarily increase our trust, but it's as we put it into action, as we obey it. Just like Jesus said, the one that obeys my word, doesn't just hear it, his life is built on a rock. So as we get the experience of being obedient to God, then our trust grows. It's a spontaneous kind of a thing.
Hey, Dylan, we're not too loud over here, are we? For you?
He's busy.
He's
Now, see,
banging things around.
I never noticed that the man was there.
You're joking.
No, I'm serious.
You hear him banging stuff over there?
Once he walked away from here, I can block things out.
I was my ears were finally
Yeah.
tuned.
I know. You're a detail fella. I'm a
You're big picture.
broad stroke
You're big
guy.
picture guy. Big picture.
And let's ask another question, girl.
All right, let's go.
And
Keep going.
I can function in chaos.
All right.
Oh yeah, you had
This person has been studying in Revelation and watching Pastor Randy's end time study. So their questions are, what does Revelation 3:10 mean? We'll go with that one, and then their follow up.
Yeah, it's of course in the writings of the seven churches, and to one of the churches it says that the people in that particular church, each church was symbolic of a type of core believers that will be existent right down to the end of the age. Anyway, he says they will be kept from the hour of trial that's going to come upon all those that are on the face of the earth. Well, the question, what does kept mean from the hour of trial? And pre-tribbers, meaning those that believe that the Church of Christ will be taken away to heaven 7 years before the tribulation, they say that's proof that, God's church won't go through the tribulation. But the reality is this. The word that is used there, kept, it's tereo, Greek word. And to give you an idea how it's used in Philippians 4, 6 through 8, it's don't be anxious about anything, but in all your, don't be anxious about anything, but in everything with prayer and supplication, make your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God will guard, tereo, your heart, or keep or guard your heart and mind in Christ Jesus. So the word, it's used elsewhere in the New Testament too, and it's always used of the idea of keeping something firm, keeping something safe, keeping something protected. So it actually fits more into the context of going through the time of turmoil that will be on the face of the earth. You will be kept strong in your trust in Christ regardless. You may even survive, because Isaiah 26 urges us to, the people of God, it says, hide yourselves a little while, my people, until the time of wrath be over. So we know some people are going to survive. They're going to live right up into the very return of Christ. So that keeping or that guarding could take either form. It might be that I just stay faithful to Christ even unto death, or I might live through the time of trial that will come upon all those that are on the face of the earth. But it has nothing to do. In fact, the word would be ektero if it was talking about taking us out. It's not that.
The follow-up to that is, does the Bible speak about another book besides the book of life? And so they're asking about Psalm 139:16 and 56:8. Are these talking about the book of life or something else?
Yeah, the Psalm 139 references, it's, all my days were written in your book before, I lived one. That's clearly talking about the book of life. Now, the Psalm 56, it's about my tears, if I'm recalling it right. And it doesn't necessarily talk about the book
You've kept track of all my tears that way?
Yes.
Yeah.
My tears in your bottle, some translations say. That doesn't necessarily point to the book of life, but it might, because it is talking about in judgment, where all of our activity will be, weighed and measured and rewarded, and and that sort of thing. Now, the first part of the question, though, was, does the Bible talk about other books? In fact, it talks about multiple books that are not in the Bible. Okay, if you look at the Old Testament references, there's numerous references to the book of Jasher, for example. What's not in the Bible. So there were other books circulating that were not canonized, not given that inspiration tag. But that's the only two that we're really told to focus on is the book of life. And I think that both of those passages likely are looking to the book of life. Yeah.
Do you have that?
Have what?
The book of life?
I don't have the book of life. No. I've heard that someone wrote the book of love.
Oh.
Who wrote the book of love? That was an old song. You don't know about that, man, because you weren't alive.
Man, I was just
You were not alive.
a twinkle in my
I was in the 60s.
in my father's eye.
Your dad knows about who wrote the book of love.
At
It was
least-
a really cool song. Ross knows about the book
Ross
of
don't
love.
know about the book. He ain't that old.
Who wrote the book of love, Ross?
Who
Let
sang the
him know.
song?
I don't remember.
Is it the one that
group.
goes, who wrote the book of love?
That's it. She knows it. She knows the song. Yeah. Now, if I could sing, I would come right in because I know the next line, but I can't sing.
If you could
Can't-
sing,
oh, I'd be so. I'm already obnoxious, but I would be so much more obnoxious.
that'd be hilarious. Dylan, hey, you don't want to laugh at that. Don't laugh at that. You're supposed to say, no, you're not.
I went to a conference years and years ago in Pittsburgh, and the guy leading the conference, he was a tremendous communicator. But on top of it all, my man
Had
could
pipes.
flat sing.
He had
And he
pipes.
would break into song occasionally. And I would just sit there with green envy,
Every time I look up at myself, I look spaced out. Like my eyes, like I'm like,
You gotta stop with those mushrooms, man. You gotta leave those mushrooms
I'm
alone.
tired.
I keep telling you, man.
Christmas
let
pra-
the mushrooms go, my brother.
Christmas practice went long, and then I was wore out, and
Yeah.
Jess kept me up all night. You know how she is, yelling at me.
She is a cruel taskmaster. Anyone can see that as soon as they meet her.
Always yelling
You can just tell.
with the profanity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. She is
My
a
goodness.
scary little woman.
Okay. Okay. Back on track.
His face is all red. He laughs so hard.
Here we go.
I love you, Jesse
I'm
Bear.
always kind of red, man. I don't
What
know- I
was
don't know what's up with
Jesus?
that.
She's trying so hard to get us real back.
Yes, I am.
This is what happens. This is what happens when days go by without us doing
Weeks.
this. Months,
Weeks go
years,
by.
Weeks.
lives.
What was Jesus saying to the woman with the possessed daughter? First, let the children eat all they want, he told her, for it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. I think Jesus would have called me doll in the most loving way possible, of course. Ha ha. That's their own person.
So
what's
to go to the meaning,
Your impersonation needed work. It wasn't great enough. Ha ha.
how about that? Was that better?
to go to the passage, I don't remember the exact passage, but I think it was a Gentile woman who was bringing her daughter, and Jesus was speaking in a context of a Jewish mentality. The Jewish mentality was that Gentiles were considered dogs,
Yeah.
and even to brush against a Gentile would ceremonially contaminate you.
Unclean.
So Jesus is kind of rebuking the Jews, which he did frequently, that they of all people should have been the greatest recipients, but in fact sometimes it was those that never would have been expected to be recipients of Jesus' being the Messiah and offering, all of his grace to people. So that's kind of what it was about. It was Jesus' play on a kind of a humor, in my opinion, actually. So.
All right.
I'd love to see that little Jesus humor.
Well, when he talked about the log in the eye, evidently that would have been quite humorous in those days, because the Pharisees considered themselves appropriate critics of everyone and everything. And Jesus comes out, he says, hey, you're looking for that speck in somebody else's eye. You don't see this log in your own. You can see the sinful crowd just cracking up because they knew he just shot down the Pharisees,
Yeah.
Happy Thursday, Miss Faith.
Yeah.
Faith! You guys have a beautiful family. The best trio. Oh,
Yeah.
Faith, you're awesome. We love you. We miss you. Hug Matt for me.
All right.
I wonder if Matt knows that someone very high up at his company is attending FCF. I wonder if he knows that. That's cool. Sharp guy.
Okay. Couple questions on heaven now.
Yes.
Does the Bible say you go to heaven immediately when you pass away and remain there until Judgment Day? If not, where do you go?
Yeah, 2 Corinthians 5:8, it says, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So our spirit soul goes to heaven now, but we don't yet have our full resurrection body. That doesn't occur until Jesus returns the second time. That's when the dead and the living receive our resurrection bodies. But we do go to heaven. We're waiting there for the return of Christ. Now, there's a second part to the question, isn't there, about
Yes.
new heaven?
Is the new heaven and new earth the same place? And if not, why is there a new earth and a new heaven?
It's a really interesting question that honestly I hadn't pondered about, particularly the new heaven. Obviously, it's a new earth because the earth gets fire torched after the rebellion of Satan, the final rebellion, and so yeah, so it's renovated.
What's the Greek word for that?
So the new earth is a given. There has to be a new earth because the old earth just gets burnt to us, it's cinder. But
I like fire torched better.
Yeah.
But the new heaven, I had never really thought on that much. And the more I just let the language speak, it seems to be indicating there is going to be a real change in the architecture, the structure, the environment of heaven itself. Because the New Jerusalem is going to kind of sort of float or rest upon the earth. It's a little difficult to tell. It might do both. I don't know. The New Jerusalem is enormous, but it's kind of the heavenly city that the Lord will be in and will be in as well. It does appear that there's going to be a modification of heaven, which is not surprising. God is eternally creative.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's an interesting question.
Yeah. Who has that? Does it say?
I don't know.
Whoever it was, she was smart.
Oh, look at you. Look at you.
Very PC. You good, Dylan? Are we keeping you? Are you all right over there?
It had gotten so quiet over there, it was
had.
distracting.
I
It's not like
know,
he was
yeah.
cooking in a kitchen with pots and pans. Clang, clang, gong, bing, bang.
I never noticed.
Bell.
Yeah, cowbell. We need more
I
cowbell.
think he dumped his dishwasher down the stairs of his house.
Our
Well,
last question is, how often do we do baptisms? Last one.
it's in the program, like communion.
3 times a year. So
And do we have specific
in
seasons?
general, it's around February and June and October.
Okay.
And you have to, when you're
When you-
giving
you
those
have to do
dates,
it like-
you got to do this.
You gotta do that.
You gotta do this. See, because one hand forward, then the other hand forward, then the other hand.
You know, I think she's just loosened that microphone up with that jab.
All right, so if the reason Dylan is making racket in here is because there's all sorts of different projects going on. And shout out to our facilities team. We've carpeted the whole place.
Yeah, it's
We're
beautiful.
turning
Beautiful.
with some of our overflow spaces and youth ministry, young adults, all these ministries growing. We've had to expand some of the spaces, and then even with hashtag tear the roof off,
Yeah.
we're going to be using this velocity room for overflow. So, just a thank you to our facilities team. In doing so, they've carpeted, and so all of Dylan's belongings, all his toys, got moved, and so he's trying to get his blocks all back in the same.
Are those new speakers? They're
He
fancy.
did, yeah.
Look
Can't
at
hide money.
you.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Miss Nadine! Hello, dear.
Nadine.
Yeah.
She's the sweetest. Okay.
She is.
This,
Oh, that's kind. My
You have a question,
three
John?
favorite pastors. Very, very kind of you, Nadine.
But also, there is, remind them we're doing Q&A only once.
We're going to be doing once in December with all of the calendar elements going on. We'll give you that date. You'll see it. And then,
Are we
what's up,
doing it
Roy?
next week?
You the man? No, not next week. I don't think
Okay,
so.
so just one in December.
Yes,
until
next week is Thanksgiving.
No, 2 weeks from now.
It'll be Thanksgiving tonight if Washington wins.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what's going?
You,
Do you know what's
this is
going
really
on?
unfair. My team is tired. You guys are on a roll now. You're finally coming to life. This is not
You know,
fair.
you know what the bad news is?
But we will still.
I've said it over and over again. It doesn't matter if the Eagles are undefeated and the Washington Redskins, if the Commanders,
You
whatever
said
it
it
is,
right first time.
have not won a game. I fear that Philly will lose. Wasn't it 2 years ago that we were undefeated?
Yes, you were, and
And
we trounced you. Oh, it was brutal. We ran the ball. I think we
Down our throats.
200 yards on the ground.
But we got Saquon now. Who
Saquon can jump over you backwards. Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
No.
And I'm
I
not
never
that
have
old,
either.
but still.
But the athletes now are doing so many things that would have been unheard of through most of my lifetime. The one-hand catches are nothing anymore. All the wide receivers
Those
can
are
do
those are
that.
gloves.
The gloves,
Oh, my
ma-
goodness.
The gloves
make
are
it stickier.
The gloves
Yeah.
are borderline comical. You ever seen them?
But they are.
They've
still,
talked about outlawing them.
But
It is.
these guys are so acrobatic, though. I mean, the receivers in the old days were not like
That's
that.
nothing for you, though. I mean, you do backflips in your office.
Well, not machine.
Yeah, I wish I could.
All right, just for clarification, as Dylan said, so basically between now and the end of the year, we're going to do one in December. I don't know. December
we don't know when.
5th, Thursday, December 5th.
Oh, we do know.
Yes.
But then we're rolling into
Christmas
Christmas. So start of the year, we'll be like on track. But for now, we're going to be
And you know
one
what we
more
should
December.
do? When we start back up again, we should do an announcement on a Sunday morning.
Yes.
Just to let everybody know.
Yeah, I haven't wanted to
'Cause
do that because
two-
we're not consistent yet.
Yeah, good point. Good. There's too many people that don't know about this. Not that would necessarily make
If
any
only,
difference.
if only we could slow down all of the growth in the schedule. That would
I
make this
know.
so
We
much
didn't have
easier.
anything else going on. We could do this more
Maybe we just
easily. Let's
shut down all
stop
the-
everything
yeah,
else.
Just stop. Shut it all down. Pull the plug.
Hi from Emmitsburg.
Miss
Becky.
Becky. It's Miss Becky.
Uh-huh.
The question is, how many of you think the Birds are going to win, and how many of you think?
Commanders.
Like I say, I feel bad because my boys are tired, man. They just played Sunday.
Oh, don't be making excuses.
And
Already making excuses.
no.
Are you into politics?
I think they will prevail.
You sound like the Democratic Party right now. It was his fault. It was his fault. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yo, what did he say in first service? You were trying to say something, and you actually
Yeah.
said. You were trying to say like
I
buying.
said I sound like Biden.
No, he said I sound like Biden.
I sound like Biden. 'Cause remember when Biden
Yeah.
tried to
No.
cite the Declaration?
Nope.
And Biden finally says, "You know what I mean." I remember my grandmother, just prior to her death, she had word disorientation too. She'd had a couple little strokes, and she would start to say something, and then she couldn't find the word. She said, "Oh, you know what I mean." Okay.
Sure. I was just saying that it's funny. What if the Republican Party had lost, they'd all be pointing fingers at each other because the Democratic Party lost. They're all pointing fingers at each other. It was his fault. It was their fault. It just makes me laugh. Which is kind of what you were doing, reminiscing or accepting the fact that the Washington Commanders / Redskins are going to get pounded. I don't think they get pounded. I think it's going to be the game.
What Washington has proved this year, all kidding aside, is that they actually have formed a decent team, which is miraculous because it's probably over 50% new players. But it's new coaching staff and everything, so it's kind of fun being a Washington fan after so long of not having any fun being a Washington fan.
So my pop is we are. Why did our viewership just jump? Did you see that? Maybe we should do sports commentary. That's what it is. Pastor Kim, this is your favorite. You could tell stories about how she got punched in the face by another basketball player.
Yeah. Has a scar to show for it to this
I
day.
do.
Yeah. So
Andrew says Barkley.
yeah, Saquon
Yes. Oh,
was a Penn State guy, which my pop loved Penn State. We watched Penn State, And so I was I was sad when he went to the Giants, but was thrilled. How do you think? He's also a super classy guy. Did you see when he was 12 yards? There was, I think, 6 minutes left in the game. They had the ball. He was 12 yards from his record. He had scored 3 touchdowns against his previous team, the Giants. And he comes over, and we were up by a lot. I say we as if I'm a part of the team payroll.
Yeah.
And somehow when they win, I get money. None of that is the case, by the way. And the coach says, hey, you're 12 yards from your rushing record. You want to go back in? And he said, you know what? It's probably better for the young guys to get some reps. So I won't let the young guys eat.
Wow.
It was super classy. He's
Very
a classy
awesome.
classy guy.
Yeah,
so
we don't have enough of that in sports. We really don't.
No.
It's a shame.
a lot of self-promotion, which goes back to the parenting conference. What matters most? Remember? That was
No,
good.
I don't.
That was loaded with all
Remember
kinds
saying-
of stuff.
So he started talking. Any of you, the commanders,
Well, he said the number one trait to teach your child. Is that what you were referring
yes.
to?
What is most important?
Yeah.
Like,
This
The most
got
important
kicked.
characteristic or
Camera
trait.
just-
look at your left foot, Dylan.
Yeah, that was. It bounced right back, though. It wasn't a terrible. But he said the most important trait that you can teach your child that will dictate or determine the likelihood of their being successful and happy in life is self-control.
Yeah, but he went through. He said he
Well, he
talked.
named all these things
Yeah,
that
he put a
people
list
would
up.
tend to think,
Yeah.
like self-esteem and all these various things. But in fact, and his answer was all data-driven.
Yes.
So it's not up for
Yes.
grabs.
Very good.
Statistically proven stuff.
Well, and a lot of it came back to the parenting aspect, hence collapse of
Oh, yeah.
parenting, where he talked about some parents would be more happy with their kids getting a dishonest A than them getting an honest C,
Yes.
which was like
Yeah.
Yeah,
mind-boggling.
yeah.
Bottling?
Someone
I
asked
got a friend that always says that.
if we will.
I do too.
You have a friend that says that? Chimley? That's Mr. Bill Griffith. He says Chimley.
Someone
That
asked if
chimney.
we will post the parenting conference, but we cannot. The reason we brought him in live is because, we paid him to be here. He sells books, so we can't turn around and post that
Content.
content
Now,
legally. But
are-
all the books are available.
Are we allowed to give the link to our parishioners or not?
No, it's the
only,
same thing.
Okay, only
No.
the people that attend
We
the
can
conference?
use it to create a small group study
Okay.
on it. We can just use
Oh,
it for
yeah.
that.
Okay.
But,
Which
no,
we are doing.
Yes, we
Yeah.
are doing next semester, but we can't post that.
Okay.
Again, it's his content that he's writing books about. But the books are available in our bookstore, and it's off. If you're not a reader, it's on Audible, so you can listen. as
Yes.
well.
Yeah,
Very good.
It was,
Highly recommend.
really
Very
great.
good.
I don't have children, and I was intrigued the whole time.
It was. I hesitate. I was concerned when I saw the length of the sessions. I even
Yeah.
said something to Pastor Kim, and had some concern that towards the afternoon, the room might empty out, and
It
it was
did
the
not.
opposite of that.
Yeah.
It was very good. Miss Debbie and her
Yeah.
team did a fantastic job of
Yep.
putting it together and working through all the elements of it.
Yeah.
Why does my forehead look all? I look excited. Look at that. It's like, hey, like a little.
That curly's back too.
Stop. It's probably from the
so
mic.
funny.
Pull it out,
It's
Pastor
just one
Randy.
little
Yank it.
piece.
No,
Can you
man,
see
I would
it?
never do that.
Birdfly. That is a very cool name. I am so intrigued to know more. Feel free to message me if you.
I've
to
seen that
elaborate.
on for years and years,
Birdfly.
but I don't know. I don't remember who it is.
Now,
But I
is
remember
that an
seeing
actual
Birdfly.
name or just a chosen?
I think
I'm going to say
Angelo,
no.
I guess.
I don't think her last name is Fly and her first name is Bird.
Okay.
And of course, I'm saying she could be a guy.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
I did know a girl back in my childhood days. Her name was Wren, which is a type of a bird.
Yep. This is a fun. My name is Faith. Hello, Miss Faith. Miss Faith, have you been in person? Do you come in person? Have we met on a Sunday? The excited forehead.
Chloe!
Miss Christy Sway. Chloe Boyd!
Chloe.
What's going on? How are you, sis? We're big Chloe fans. We like Closter.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Miss Christy Swank. When you come and see us again? She's very, very good friends with my parents, and actually when my parents fly different places, I actually worked with my brother Bernie for a long time too. She normally drives them to the airport.
Oh,
and
that's
takes care of them.
wonderful.
One of my mom's, I think probably my mom's closest friend. So love you, Miss Christy. You're the best.
Well, I
would
don't know
love to
about
meet you.
but I'm actually hungry.
I think we should talk more. What do you guys think about how terrible the Cowboys are? All right. And look, as soon as I say that, viewership jumps back up again. Look, some of us are Eagles fans. Some of us are Redskins fans. but we all hate the Cowboys. I mean, we just agree on that.
Amen.
I might lead with that on Sunday. I don't know. We'll see. You're awesome, Chloe. All right, we will see you on Sunday in the middle of the new series. It is second week? Is it second week?
Third
week.
week, yeah.
So good. Crushing it. You want to give them a little taste? Speaking of being hungry.
One of the most important things in life
Segue.
is to is to establish intelligent priorities. And by intelligent, I don't mean that you have to be smart. I mean priorities based on reality. And so Christ speaks directly about that. And so this Sunday we'll let Christ kind of clarify our priorities.
Awesome.
I like it. I like
I like it too.
There is another Eagles fan out there. So, Miss Faith Bird Fly, would love to meet you on Sunday. Come say hi. I'm normally the guy with the beard and the guitar next to
And
the
the little curly, right?
next to the girl that looks a lot better than him, who is always
Very fierce,
Zelly.
very angry.
fierce little creature.
All right.
You ever pull the tail on a cat? Same thing. Just a normal. Master Kim is so done with us.
If she's watching this, I'll bet she's so mortified because she's probably the most gentle soul I've ever
That's the best
come
part of all.
across.
Is she would, because it's Jess, she'd be like,
Right.
"What are you gonna do? I don't
She'll
think
just
so."
go,
Yeah, right.
All right, Jessica Klein, go Birds. Yes, and I'm married to a Cowboys fan, praying for his salvation.
yeah.
There's hope. God can redeem just about anything. Faith says Jessica is the sweetest human ever.
Ever, yes.
Truer words have not been spoken.
Amen.
What I don't owe to redeeming grace, I owe to Jesse Bear. All right, we
Yeah.
love you. We'll see you Sunday.
Bye.